Familiarity breeds contempt, but what it really does is take away the uncertainty of Chris Avalos. He may be in there against one of the best fighters in the world. He may be a huge underdog in this fight, but that idea, that lack of familiarity does not exist.
Not at all. When it comes to Avalo, this guy takes one of the biggest shots in boxing. You guys are about to be impressed with one of the hardest chins I've probably ever seen in person, but he also has power. Avalos does. So this is going to be a good fight.
Santa Cruz, who took up the sport at 8, has been a pressure fighter ever since, and a crowd pleaser, and lands the first shot.
Clean shot. We're going to see a lot of that because what Avalos does, he does lack defense, but he has granite in his chin. I don't like seeing him get hit like that solidly, but we're going to see that throughout the fight, but he's going to keep coming.
Don't talk about Santa Cruz's defense a lot, but for someone who throws as many punches as he does in close range, he rarely gets hit.
He's a lanky fighter. He's one of these guys that's really relaxed. Even when he does get hit, he kind of brushes it off by turning with the punch. Good shot there by Santa Cruz, and Avalos comes back with a sharp right uppercut. Avalos practiced that shot in the gym.
Santa Cruz talked a lot about watching Avalos, not just the fight he had with him as an amateur, but that he knocked out one of his best friends. And he's known this is a powerful young man. He's known that for a long time. There's that. Even behind the guard, you can see the smile of Santa Cruz.
I just saw the smile right there, too. He's at home in there. He loves what he does. He's great at what he does. Why not enjoy it?
He wakes up every morning and realizes how fortunate he is. He's one of the people in the world that gets to do what he loves to do.
On the flip side, look at Avalo's face. His eyes are coin slot. I mean, he's just tuned in to what he wants to do. There, Santa Cruz lands a good shot. His eyes wide open.
Chris Avalos has also fought Carl Frampton, a fight he was injured going into and got dominated by one of the best in the world. The consensus, if you're new to the world of Leo Santa Cruz, if this is the first time you're watching him, that not only is he the best featherweight in the world, but that Abner Morris and Carl Frampton round out the top 3. Are you with that?
Absolutely, yeah. Frampton's one of the best fighters in the world, and both these guys have been in the ring with him. Not only that, but Avalo has been in the ring with some really good opposition and champions and former champions, and Oscar Valdez as well. He has this relaxed aggression. Avalos does.
As expected, big exchanges and a big finish to round 1 for the champion Santa Cruz. Chris Avalos, we talked about the Santa Cruz family being close. Chris Avalos' mom, Patricia, and we told you the story of her watching as her husband got thrown out of that amateur fight. There's Felipe. And they have, stayed with this young man and stayed with their son. And listen, Sergio, this doesn't always happen in this sport. We've seen guys, they break away from that close family, and Chris Avalos has that. That's one of the reasons he's still here and has this opportunity.
It's a beautiful thing because even as a young man, you've always had your coach there from beginning to end, from when you're an amateur to when you have professional success. And when it's your father, it's only extra special.
Says he is super healthy now. Those are the words he used with me yesterday. The old Chris Avalos is back.
Second round.
The one that was really viewed as a high-level prospect for a while, but as you say, you lose a couple of fights and suddenly everybody goes away, and then that's the real test.
That's the real test, not only in spirit but in temperament.
The counter left from Avalos gets in there, tried it again, and Santa Cruz was long gone. El Terremoto, if you're wondering, means earthquake. Got that nickname at age 9. And he would throw the same non-stop punches that he throws now. So he was like an earthquake. It would destroy everything around it. And he has pretty much done that with the exception of the one loss to Frampton that he avenged in a virtuoso performance in regaining that title. And one of the reasons that his dad, Jose, wanted him to have a fight before the rematch with Morris.
Both these fighters have their fathers in their corner, and that's a special thing because it's a family affair. It's a family bond. And if you can have your father/trainer in there being with you through all the thick and the thin and the blood and the tears, it's a special thing. Great stuff here by Santa Cruz.
He is on the attack. His dad took a little bit of heat for the decision to delay the rematch with Morris. Who knows his son better? Who knows his fighter better than dad?
We're going to find out if that's a good decision because Morris already did his part, like he said. He had a sensational performance. Now it's time for Leo Santa Cruz to match that performance, and we're going to see if that was the right decision. Good body shots there. Avalo's landed. When you get two guys that have actually fought before, whether it was in the amateurs or sparring, you know each other. You know the distance, the timing. You know how hard he hits. The feeling out rounds aren't going to be as slow as they normally are.
Avalo lost his footing. You see him stare immediately at the ground. That knockdown, he suffered the knockdown. When we asked him about it yesterday, he said, I just took a knee. I took a knee. Time to recuperate.
Whether that's true or not, that's a fight of pride.
And it is, and he has extraordinary. You have to have, if you're going to get in there with one of the best in the world, you better have extraordinary belief in what you can do. And Santa Cruz trying to take that belief away, one shot at a time.
Like I mentioned earlier, Avalo has one of the hardest chins and head I've seen in boxing in a long time. We're going to get to see how strong and resilient a young man like Avalo can get because we're going to see some devastating punches. And, you know, like you mentioned earlier, Santa Cruz throws 1,000 punches around, so there's going to be a lot of punches landed by Santa Cruz here. Another good round by him.
And another big finish. When Leo Santa Cruz lost his world title to Carl Frampton, and there were no excuses offered from the Santa Cruz camp. But you see his dad, Jose, had just been diagnosed with cancer. He was not there for the early part of training camp. There was, in addition to just the emotions, Sergio, that he was going through, trying to deal with his father battling cancer, there was almost two different camps. And when his dad returned to the camp just weeks before the fight, it was almost as if it had taken a different direction, and it caused confusion for him in that title loss.
Part of being a fighter is absorbing everything that happens, not only in the ring, but out. And that's just the spirit of a fighter. You gotta be able to block that off and come into the fight focused and prepared, but that's easier said than done.
Although you think you want a little time away from dad once in a while, right? I mean,
I don't know.
You've been having dad yell at you your whole life, and then
I know Senior. He's pretty cool to me.
It is an amazing, as tight-knit a family as you can imagine. As we talked about in the Abner Morris conversation, part of the extraordinary appeal of Leo Santa Cruz is those family ties.
That and this style. Look at this action here. Leo Santa Cruz is sitting down in his punches now. He's trying to land something solid now because he knows he needs to get something in there because you don't want Avalos to get confidence. No kind of confidence. He could take a big shot, and he has power in both hands too as well.
I asked Leo Santa Cruz yesterday, if this fight were in Dublin, if it were in New York, if it were somewhere else, would it be you're fighting in Los Angeles? You're fighting in front of these fans. How hard will it be for you to step back and stay away?
It'll be very difficult. It's something you have to focus on.
We live in an age where everybody treads lightly over certain topics, and we talk about things like the heritage and the way we talk about Mexican fighters and the way they want to perform. Is this real?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, we hear from the day that we start boxing. We want to go in there and show how tough we are. The machismo is real.
I had machismo in my little bingo game, so it's I just want to see if I can get you to say it.
But let me tell you something. Not all fighters follow that because I got taught in a different style. I'm not the type that goes in there and gives blood and guts, but that's the reason fighters like these are very popular.
Did you ever hear it from fans? Did you ever feel pressure to change your style?
Yes, and those are the performances that I actually didn't look like I wanted to look because I didn't follow my game plan. I listened to the crowd. Good shot there by Leo Santa Cruz.
That was one of his better shots. Avalos.
He put everything behind that punch, and Avalos actually reacted. Temporarily turning southpaw there. When a fighter starts turning southpaw like that and going orthodox, it's because he's trying to figure out what can land, what can actually be effective. Sometimes it could be that you're frustrated or confused as well. Good shot there, straight right hand to the body. That's what I want to see from Leo Santa Cruz.
As Avalos told us yesterday, Santa Cruz's defense is his offense. And that's why he's so tough to figure out.
And Avalos, like I mentioned, has granite in his chin, but he's not going to have granite downstairs in the belly.
Thomas Taylor with a word for Avalos. Now trying to hang on. Something Chris Avalos is likely going to be trying to do all night. Another impressive round for the champion.
This bud's for the dream and the people bold enough to pursue it. For those who come from nothing and rise to something. It's for those who take everything this country has to offer and make it their own.
So far, we got Santa Cruz here doing his job, landing some good punches, putting on the pressure like he normally does. Avalos absorbing them, but still in the fight here. Round 1 was Santa Cruz on my book. Round 2 was similar. Round 3, I noticed Santa Cruz started investing more in the body because he realized that Avalo is not going to go anywhere with those shots up top. So I have a 3-0. Santa Cruz.
Like Abner Maris, who we thought won all 10 rounds. A couple of the judges gave a round to Andres Gutierrez. What nevertheless was a dominant, technically a decision win, not a TKO, as they did go to the cards at the end of that 10th round. And Abner Maris wanted to shower quick and get back out here to watch this fight as those two close in on the rematch. So many fans have waited to see. I have to know what it takes to wipe the smile off the face of Leo Santa Cruz. There are guys, you've talked about them, Manny Pacquiao, they'll smile, but then when the fight starts, it's a different deal. Santa Cruz
Santa Cruz loves what he does. I mean, even a low blow, there was a low blow right there that was a little bit low, and Santa Cruz still enjoying himself.
That is shocking when you consider that Santa Cruz is the one, for a while, he was averaging for over several fights, nearly 100 punches per round, but obviously far more effective, a higher percentage.
Santa Cruz, nice
big shot,
by
best shot
Santa Cruz
of the fight for Santa Cruz, but Avalos counters with a left to create some distance. Santa Cruz on the attack. Does not care about getting into a firefight.
Brutal shots being landed by Santa Cruz here. Avalos taking them as he always does. The crowd going crazy here.
Oh, monster left. A second one. That one moved Avalos. Santa Cruz pouring it on. Avalos in trouble. Against 3 in a row, 4 in a row against the most brutal combinations. How is Chris Avalo still on his feet?
I told you guys this guy has one of the hardest chins I've ever seen in person in boxing.
El Terremoto and his earthquake best right now, pouring it on Chris Avalos.
And Avalos is still focused, still has his bearings to hold. His eyes are still concentrated. His legs are still there. It's just he takes an amazing shot, Avalos does.
Overhand right gets through. Another one. Avalos buckling against the ropes, but still throwing punches.
Unbelievable.
A fourth round in which Cris Avalos was hit by an earthquake and somehow, some way, is still standing. Wow.
The crowd loving it, but Avalos' corner concerned here, as they should be, because this man took a lot of punishment. Those are brutal shots being landed by Santa Cruz, solid and cleanly.
Count the power shots landed by Santa Cruz.
Pretty much every shot is a power shot because he knows he has his man weary. Maybe not hurt, but weary. But we know Avalos takes a big shot. At the end of the round, I seen Santa Cruz going down to the body, and that's how he's going to hurt this guy.
Tough for Mom to watch, but she, like her son, is hanging in.
Well, it's not the first time Mom's seen Avalos, her son, take this kind of punishment. That's his style. He gives everything he has in there, but he absorbs a lot more.
Get your mind right, Chris. This is all mental. Come on, it's all mental right now. Get your mind
Didn't seem like there was any discussion in the Avalos corner about the beginning of the end. Look how the numbers have changed over that last monster round.
And that last round, you probably could have scored a 10-8.
Yeah. Cris Avalos, talking to him yesterday, doesn't even consider himself a boxing fan. We talked about different fights. He's like, yeah, I watch some fights on YouTube from time to time, but he just marches to the beat of his own iPod shuffle.
Oh, my goodness. That's a solid shot right on the tip of the chin. His legs buckled a little bit, but he's still there.
We said, how can Leo Santa Cruz outperform the gem pitched by Abner Mares? He might be on the verge of doing it.
They're both doing what they need to do in sensational fashion, that's for sure. Santa Cruz should start picking the body a little bit, even jabbing, throwing little shots right there, because the head shots aren't going to phase Avalos right now. Take it down to the body like he did earlier. That caught his attention. That's going to make his legs a little weary and buckle.
All right, what's in the mind of Santa Cruz after you have a round like that and throw everything you can, and Cris Avalos is still throwing back at you?
It's tough. It's tough when you see someone, you throw everything in the kitchen sink and your opponent is still there. That's demeaning sometimes. That actually takes it out of you. That's why you got to change your strategy. You can't keep continuing to throw the same shots. Go and invest in the body a little bit. Good shot there. That's what I'm talking about from Santa Cruz.
Left hook to the body. There's not a backward step in Santa Cruz. Doesn't matter the situation. Doesn't matter the stakes. Tonight, he hopes is the beginning of a journey that will lead him not just to the rematch with Mares, but maybe a trilogy fight with Frampton, and to become not just the featherweight champion, but the best featherweight of the era. But it starts with trying to get the man in front of him out of the way, and that has proved very difficult through 5 rounds.
Avalo's nodding his head. Any other fighter would have went down with the shots that Santa Cruz has landed, but not Avalos.
somehow still on his feet through 5 against one of the best in the world.
You probably didn't notice, but something's different about me. Even with the beautiful cars and fast women, there was something missing in my life. Then I found brown sugar.
Try a week of brown sugar free on your phone, tablet, or computer.
Stream the biggest collection of the baddest movies.
Just download the Brown Sugar app now from iTunes or the Google Play Store, or go to brownsugar.com. You dig?
Brown sugar.
Just like Netflix, only blacker.
Earlier today, an instant classic on Fox in Game 2 of the American League Championship Series. Jose Altuve scoring all the way from first on Carlos Correa's double in the bottom of the ninth in support of an epic pitching performance for the veteran Justin Verlander. Talking about one of the great trades in recent baseball history. And now the Astros up 2-0 as the series shifts to Yankee Stadium Monday night on FS1, streaming live on Fox Sports Go. We've seen Justin Verlander, Abner Maris, and now Leo Santa Cruz throw near perfect games. What a day. What are you telling Chris Avalos right now in the corner?
Well, I overheard his trainer said that he has to be smart. I don't think that's Avalos' style. Avalos' style is he's not cute in there. He doesn't fight behind the jab, even though he does have experience and fought some great opposition. He's the type of guy that absorbs everything you have and then catches you off guard with the punches that he throws back.
David Benavides, do you agree with that?
Yeah, Santa Cruz is doing exactly what he has to do, but I would like to see him go down to the body more if he wants to get this guy out of here.
That's exactly what I said, because Avalo already tasted the power upstairs, but downstairs is a different story. This man is not going anywhere with headshots.
He started to do it a little bit more late round 4, early round 5, and then perhaps spurred on by the crowd, perhaps sensing it. Santa Cruz going back upstairs.
What helps Avalos take that type of punches and that type of punishment is that he's so relaxed in there. He has this relaxed aggression, so when you get hit with those shots, it doesn't have the same effect as if you're tense. And speaking of relaxed, Leo Santa Cruz is he's doing everything he needs to do. He's fighting his fight with a relaxed pressure. He keeps coming forward, fighting behind the jab, investing in the body here and there. Another solid right hand there by Santa Cruz. He's doing everything he has to do.
The internet doing what the internet does. Does this become a referendum on the power of Santa Cruz?
People are always going to talk about power. Everyone loves these one-punch powers, but Santa Cruz has never been a power puncher. He's a pressure fighter. He's the type of guy that relies on volume. And that's more impressive to certain boxing fans like myself, is technique, speed, and then power.
And a reminder, we are at 126 here. These are featherweights. Santa Cruz is not only at the top of that heap right now, he is one of the best pound-for-pound fighters in the world. And he has put on a spectacular show through 6 rounds. That last sequence, the ever-present smile of Santa Cruz. That was probably the longest sequence you'll ever see without Santa Cruz throwing a punch. He needs a bigger mouthpiece. Santa Cruz still smiling through 6. Nowhere he'd rather be. Now, how are they feeling in the corner of Chris Avalos, though?
Hey, get your mind back. Let's go. Now, this dude ain't got nothing for you, Chris. You gotta trust what we tell you. If he had it, he'd be trying to get you up out of there. We got so much respect for you because you're power. But what we need,
how you feeling, buddy?
is to suck it up. Good. Hey, I need you to suck it up, take him to the deep, and drown his ass. So if you start backing his ass up and dropping his shot,
What are you hearing from Jose Santa Cruz?
They like what he's doing. They want more volume punches. They want uppercuts. And on Avalos' corner, they want him to fight smarter, not get hit as much. But that's a tough thing to do when you've been doing it your entire career like that. He needs to just get in there, not let Santa Cruz have so much distance in between them and get inside and land some shots. I think Avalos would be better suited to get in the inside now, because at this distance, it's going to be all Santa Cruz with the cleaner shots. He's a longer puncher.
A merciless fourth-round barrage from Santa Cruz. You still shake your head that Chris Avalos was standing at the end of that round, let alone 15 minutes later.
Well, I expected that, but I know everyone at home is he's in for a surprise, because this man takes a hellacious punch to the head and to the chin. Nice uppercut there by Avalos. But they're too far in between.
Avalos trying to get inside, just like you were talking about.
Good body shot there. That's what's going to take it out of Chris Avalos. It's those body shots, because I know he's winded. But when you get hit to the body like that and you're breathing in and out in a tough fight where you've been getting hit with everything, it's those little shots that you don't see coming. You just feel them. And I think Santa Cruz has caught on to that, because he's digging down in there.
Every time he separates him, you see Thomas Taylor taking an extra long look at Chris Avalos, just staring in his eyes. Santa Cruz again initiates the firefight.
Great action right here. Avalos is trying to stand his ground there, but the shots that you could see cleanly are coming from Santa Cruz. The sweat flying, cleaner shots are being landed by Terremoto here. That smile has turned into a grin now. I think he's starting to feel a little wary himself. I mean, he's landing a lot of shots, Santa Cruz is.
Volume we're used to from Santa Cruz. The efficiency and then the power in that fourth round was stunning.
If anyone needs to round off the next one, it's Santa Cruz, but I don't think that's in his style.
Yeah, you tell him. That'd probably be the only thing that would take the smile off his face.
Are you ready?
You want, but you got to go home with me. I forgot some good old love, and I got
watch more of the sport that makes you feel more. Corona, presenting sponsor of Premier Boxing Champions.
This fight's still going on despite this is what we saw in round 4. Staggering stuff.
Some brutal action here, but it's brutal one-sided action. I think Santa Cruz, there's been a change in flow here, because Santa Cruz is landing everything and Avalos is not going anywhere, and he realizes it now, so he's starting to invest in the body now, Santa Cruz is, because Avalos, one tough cookie. Right here, I have it all. I haven't been able to give one round to Avalos, but Avalos is just so tough that you can't help but to root for him, because he's just not going anywhere.
And normally, for a normal fighter and a normal man with a normal personality as a fighter, you might talk about it being discouraging or whatever. But what discourages Leo Santa Cruz when he's doing what he was born to do in a place that he loves to do it?
Nothing. If I was Leo Santa Cruz, and I'm hoping I see this, you take a little bit of a round off. Fight behind your jab. You don't need to go in there and be the Terremoto all the time. You've been landing everything. This guy's not going anywhere. There's a little sign of fatigue in Santa Cruz, just a little bit, and it's not because he's tired or not in shape. It's because he's landing everything, and Avalos is not going anywhere.
No sign of that from Santa Cruz.
Like I said, it's not a good shot right there. Those are the shots that stop fights.
Santa Cruz back on the attack. The combinations have been lethal. Avalo still coming forward somehow.
The referee letting them do their thing because he knows how tough Avalos is. He knows how much of a pressure and volume fighter Santa Cruz is. Great job by the referee. That's the price that Chris Avalos has to play.
That's it. And Chris Avalos is furious, and you're probably wondering why that one after all the shots that Chris Avalos took, but that was the point. It was the accumulation of all those power shots, and in the mind of Thomas Taylor, you know he had to be thinking, you take one more of those, I'm stopping it.
I just finished saying what a great job Thomas Taylor has been doing, but listen, in the long run, this might be a good stoppage because this kid, brutal punishment here. It was a one-sided fight, but listen, and there's a fight in Avalos' corner. They're obviously upset about the stoppage, but it was a one-sided beating that Avalos was taking. You don't get points for being tough in this sport.
It was another gem pitched by Leo Santa Cruz, but Chris Avalos could not possibly win the fight on the cards. Hope was fading of big power shot on set. Been effective with all the opportunities he had, and you could tell the thinking, as frustrated as the Avalos corner is. As you said, Sergio, this might be something you look back at down the road.
It's nights like these that have an effect on a fighter. These are shots that are landing clearly, and sometimes you have too much pride for your own will. That's when you have to rely on your team, your trainer, the doctor, the referee, anybody but yourself, because you have too much bravado, you have too much heart and will to just give up. Sometimes you just have someone else do it for you.
A relentless performance by Leo Santa Cruz.
I mean, when you're getting hit by 1 or 2 shots, that's brutal. But Avalos was getting hit by 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 punch combinations. Those have effects.
That looked like the one of those old Sesame Street things where they put the number on the screen, just counting the shots.
Look, Avalos is always going to want to last the distance. And by the way, he's been stopped before, but never down. This is the 3rd time Chris Avalos has been stopped on his feet.